What's going on, everybody? We are back today to play a little NFL trivia here. This is the first really full-time NFL trivia video that I've done here, and we're going to start here at Gridiron Trivia, where you can see they have a bunch of different games you can play, and we're kind of just going to go in order. We're going to hop in to the first one, Red Zone, and kind of go down the list, and then we're going to move over to one more game and wrap it up. But let's play some NFL trivia. Let's dive into it. Let's get into it and see what we have. And as you can see here, starting with Red Zone, you can see kind of all the words, all the descriptions, right? So what we have to do, we have to name the quarterbacks with the lowest interception percentage from 2000 to 2025, minimum of 3,000 attempts. So whenever you want to play these games, you just come down here. They'll show you the rules, how to play. This one is pretty straightforward, right? Use the prompt to identify the valid players. So basically, we have to find players in the last 26 seasons, really, who has the lowest interception percentage while throwing 3,000 attempts, right? So this is our first attempt of the day. You get 3 guesses, 3 attempts to fill in these blanks, right? So enough of the explaining. It's pretty straightforward. Let's get into it. Now, starting with just thinking off rip, quarterbacks with the lowest interception percentage, my mind always goes to Russell Wilson. And sure enough, he has an interception percentage of 1.9%. So we are off to a pretty good start. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 15 quarterbacks. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all of them. Who are like risk-averse quarterbacks? Kirk Cousins, right? He's got to be on there. Okay, so we are off to a pretty good start. Now, 2000 to 2025, when you start at the top with like the big names, I would imagine Brady's got to be on there. Brady did not throw a lot of interceptions. Okay, and then starting with the current GOAT, if you will, Mahomes. Now, a guy like Peyton Manning is someone that I really kind of want to guess, but at the same time, he did throw a lot of picks. Now, he's tough for me because he threw a lot of picks early in his career, which was, which was in the late 90s. By the time he got to 2000, he was throwing a lot of picks, but he just wasn't throwing as many as he used to, or was when he was younger. So I'm kind of iffy about him. You know, a guy like Brett Favre, he threw a ton of picks, so we're not going to guess a guy like him. But man, who else are we thinking? Maybe Derek Carr. He didn't throw a ton of picks either. Okay, there we go. So 1.4 and 1. Okay, so obviously this is just bad ball knowledge to start. Got to be Rodgers, right? Yes, Rodgers did not throw a ton of picks, but we have to tap into who the 1.7 was. That one's going to be tough. It's tough. There's some good quarterback play early in the 2000s into the mids. I mean, a guy like Alex Smith didn't throw a lot of picks either. So he feels like a good bet, a good guess. Now, I kind of want to go Stafford, but Stafford threw a lot of picks when he was in Detroit. So, okay. And he's at the very bottom. So that makes sense. So he's at 2.2. Man, that one's kind of tough. I feel like Herbert hasn't thrown a lot of picks, right? Guys in today's NFL. So let's roll the dice, right? Let's just take a shot, see what happens. Bang. Okay, so we've got the top row. Now, from here, boy, I don't know. It's gonna get a little bit trickier. I kind of want to guess. I don't know. Kirk Cousins felt like a good one. I mean, you got Derek Carr, you got Alex Smith. I just don't know who else. I'm blanking. I don't want to guess Peyton. I don't want to guess Brett Favre. Dax had some good years. You know, Matt Ryan didn't throw a lot of picks. Was an MVP candidate. Let's guess Peyton, man. Why not? Let's just take a shot. Let's take a shot and see what happens. And a strike, sure enough. So I don't love that, but I'm just kind of blanking on guys that I feel really convicted about. We'll try Matt Ryan. Again, a guy who he didn't seem to throw a ton of picks. Okay, so 2.2%, Matt Ryan, bang. Oh man, who were some other? I mean, even just going through Jared Goff. I mean, obviously, same kind of thing. When he was in St. Louis, or early in his career, when he was in LA, rather, he did seem to throw a higher number of picks, but he seems to cut down on it. Yeah, he's thrown. I mean, obviously, his run of the last 4 seasons has been extremely impressive. So 2%, or lowest interception percentage of 2%. We're off to a pretty strong start there. I mean, a guy like Big Ben, maybe Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, all those guys kind of threw. They all kind of threw, I guess, a lot more interceptions maybe than you would have guessed. But we're down to 4. And so this is getting a little tricky. Oh, man. Nick Foles, maybe? I don't know if probably not Nick Foles. Let's just start firing from the hip and see what happens. Big Ben, 2 strikes. Okay, so the other thing too to think about is who were like MVP candidates, right? Because like Matt Ryan, guys like that, I mean, Jared Goff not an MVP candidate, obviously, but just played really well. Aaron Rodgers MVP, Tom Brady, Matt Stafford. Like, guys, when you win the MVP at quarterback, you're generally not throwing a lot of interceptions. But man, I am just really. I'm blanking here. I am just absolutely blanking. I mean, it's not Peyton. It's not Big Ben. I mean, Dak's had some MVP caliber seasons. If we're guessing guys within this kind of time frame, we'll guess Dak, I guess. I feel pretty good about him. He doesn't seem to have thrown a lot of interceptions. That's kind of just... Okay, so 1.9. Now, these other 3, I don't have a clue. If we work backwards and kind of go MVP candidates, right? Yeah, Drake May. I mean, Drake May has thrown 3,000 passes. He's too young. A lot of these other young pups, you have to go back to like the 23 season, 1 season. There's definitely going to be like a mid-2000s quarterback in here. There's absolutely going to be, and I'm just blanking. So 2 strikes. I mean, 2019, Drew Brees? It's got to be Drew Brees, right? From 2000 to 2025. How did I not even think of him? It's got to be Brees, right? And it's not Drew Brees. It's not Drew Brees. That is tough. Not Drew Brees. Okay, so... and like I said, Donovan McNabb and Jeff Garcia to start, right? We had those mid-2000s quarterbacks that we were talking about. And then Carson Wentz. I guess I should have followed my own advice and kind of just gone down the list of former MVP candidates, what have you. So, kind of a tough start there. But we're going to go to the next game, 17-0. And I'm looking at, okay, the OBS. You can barely see. I wanted to make sure we got the errors in here. So, we have the Dallas Cowboys from the 1990s. Man, you could go a lot of different directions here. I'm going to go with Emmitt Smith. That feels like the best bet. And again, right, 17-0, you can kind of see it. We'll get into the description, I guess, a little bit. You search up a player and you decide where you want to put them. Obviously, this game's been all the rage on social media over the last couple weeks and months. Not this one specifically, but very similar version. You're trying to build the perfect roster right across 6 franchise eras. So we have a reroll team, a reroll era option. I believe you only get 1. So you want to try to save them, for as late as possible. There's a little bit of strategy here. So we're going to go Emmitt Smith at running back. And we're going to go advanced round. We're going to spin it. We have the Patriots from the 80s. I am not going to pretend to know anyone or anything about 1980 New England Patriots. The Packers in the 80s, we could go Sterling Sharp, I think. I'm sure they had other players. Maybe their defense was good. Sterling Sharp. Could we even go Sterling Sharp? I think, right? Man, he was very, very good player in the 80s. We'll see what happens there. I don't feel great about that. Broncos in the 90s. Tight end. Oh, we could go Terrell Davis, too. I think I'm going to go Terrell Davis because he became one of the, single-digit number of running backs to rush for 2,000 yards in a single season. But we may not get another good tight end like Shannon Sharp. So that's where it gets tricky. Obviously, we have John Elway, too. I mean, we could go with the defense as well with Denver, but... man, this one is tricky. I'm going to go Terrell Davis. It just feels right. We still have another reroll. The 2010 Cleveland Browns. Could go Kellen Winslow. I'm not going to do it. I just can't do it. The 2000 Browns, I think, is actually worse. I don't even know a tight end from the 2000s for the Browns, so we're just going to have to go defense. Let me try to think about this for 1 second. Yeah, I don't. So that's disappointing. This team is not going 17-0. We have addressed that. 2010s quarterback for the Bucks, maybe even tight end. I mean, I don't have another reroll, so this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I could go Jeff Garcia if we wanted to get crazy. Maybe a little Josh Freeman action. Maybe even Jameis. We'll go Jameis. And she's just, okay, well, this is all we got. This team's not going 17-0. We have established that. Oh, 2010s Colts for tight end. This might be a little too late for Dallas Clark. Could go Mo Alley Cox. Gotta go Tyler. No, Tyler Warren's on the 20th, I guess, technically. So let's just throw it up and go with Dallas Clark and see what happens. See what our record's going to be. It's not going to be 17-0. I'll tell you that right now. 12-5. So disappointing for sure. We were on the right track with Terrell Davis, Emmitt Smith, Sterling Sharp. I mean, tough go for Jameis, and even tougher go for Dallas Clark. This was the best lineup we could have gotten with all the roles that we got. So obviously, as you can see, if we had used a different order, right? If we'd gone different selections, Dallas Cowboys in the 90s, yep. I mean, hey, that one's pretty tough. What are you going to do, right? Sterling Sharp, I mean, we got one of them, right? Kellen Winslow, I said it too. I said we could have gone Kellen Winslow, but 12-5 is not too bad. Let's give it another shot. Let's try it one more time and see what we can do. Seattle Seahawks 2010s, I mean, there's a whole defensive error named after them. I'm not even thinking twice. We're going for it. 2000s Colts. Boy, I'll tell you what. Could go with the guy who set the single season receptions record. Could go with, obviously, the quarterback, Peyton Manning. Could go a ton of different directions. Edgerrin James. I think you just have to go with the legendary quarterback. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, there's a part of me that thinks he should go with Marvin Harrison. We're at 15 minutes here. Making sure I'm not taking too long. 2010s Falcons. Could have gone Matt Ryan. But we are going to go Julio Jones. That one feels like a layup. We're off to a pretty good start. I don't know if this team is going to go 17-0, but I don't hate it. Now, for the 2020 Lions, this might be a little too late for Calvin Johnson. I think it is too late, actually, for Calvin Johnson. I'm like very confident that it's too late for Calvin Johnson. Running back, flex. Let's go with a reroll. I mean, we're halfway there. I don't love it. 2010s Lions and week 0, and guess what we can do? Calvin Johnson in the flex. Okay, this team is nasty. This team is actually nasty. 2000s Ravens. That's tough. But we do get Jamal Lewis, or we could go Shannon Sharp. I'm going to go Jamal Lewis. I think that is a no-brainer. So we're down to tight ends. Now we do have a reroll. 2010s Chiefs, Tony Gonzalez, come on down. Okay, so this team is actually nasty. It's going to be better than 12-5, no doubt. We have a real shot here to go 17-0. And this is crazy. This was like second roll of the dice here. We have a real chance to go 17-0, I feel like. We went 17-0. This is crazy. We actually did it. We actually went 17-0. So this, I mean, holy smokes. So let's look at the optimal lineup. I mean, we nailed it, right? I mean, we actually nailed it. So that, I mean, wow. Now, listen, a lot of this is obviously predicated by the roles that you get. Got to be a little strategic. You know, we obviously got tremendous roles. There's no denying that. But man, 17-0. We actually did the second try. Just on the second try, we did it. So we're going to go to stack. And this game is a little bit unique. It's pretty cool. As you can see, pretty self-explanatory, right? You have to fill, we're going for rushing touchdowns. So you have to pick a running back for this, in this first row, for example, from the NFC East between these seasons who had the most rushing touchdowns. It's all based, as you can see, on a percentile lineup. Again, if you want to go down and read all this, you can. But it's pretty self-explanatory. So basically, we're looking at running backs from the NFC East who scored the most touchdowns, but you have to get the single season. That's kind of the tricky part. So starting with the NFC East, around this time, it was Zeke, right? Zeke was the guy. pretty much. Saquon came along. He had his rookie year, I think, in what, 2018, 2019 with the Giants. They both had tremendous rookie years that we could probably pick from. You know, the Eagles, this was the time when the Eagles really, if I'm remembering correctly, really started to make their runs at the Super Bowl, right when they beat the Pats, when they had Carson Wentz playing at the MVP level. They just had like a stable of running backs. They didn't really have a bell cow, true standout star. And the Commanders, I mean, Antonio Gibson, I want to say, is probably the standalone guy. So it's either Zeke or Saquon. Now, the tough part is I'm going to go Zeke. Now, the tough part is remembering which of his seasons was kind of the best. And I thought it was his rookie year, but I could be totally off on that. So we are going to go with Zeke in 2016 and 15 rushing touchdowns, 100 percentiles. That's the best that we could have picked. So I kind of like that. We're off to a great start. Now, quarterbacks with rushing touchdowns over the last 26 seasons. I mean, just even trying to remember all of these guys, right? Like the Broncos. Yeah, we could go Bo Nix. I mean, tough part about these games is you kind of become a little bit of a prisoner of the moment. You're staying recent, and all of them have recent quarterbacks that could. I mean, Mahomes had quite a few rushing touchdowns last year alone, if I remember correctly, if not the year before. In Vegas, you had Derek Carr, who he was mobile and athletic enough, and then even in Los Angeles, he had Justin Herbert. So, this one is tricky. I feel. Should we go Mahomes last year and just kind of see? We'll go with Mahomes last year. I kind of like the idea of maybe going Bo Nix, or maybe even Herbert. But Mahomes had rushing touchdowns last year. So we're going to go with Mahomes. And we didn't get it. Now, we can't see who it was until we get to the end of it. So 95th percentile is not bad, but as you can see, it brings us down to the 97.6 percentile. So now, from 2000 to 2009, these 10 seasons, which undrafted running back had the most rushing touchdowns? This one, unfortunately, is going to be too easy because I am just a massive Priest Holmes fan, and it was repeated time and time again. His 3-year stretch, probably the best of any running, certainly the best of any undrafted running back. Now it's just a matter of picking which one it was, because it was 2, 3, and 4, and then he got hurt because he was in Baltimore here, and it was like splitting time with Jamal Lewis, and then ended up in Kansas City and I'm pretty sure it was these 3 years where he was offensive MVP or like that caliber of player. But which season was it? Was it 2, 3, or 4? Now, I want to say the first of the 3-year stretch was the coming out party, but then he ended up having like, I think, another better season, if not continuing to stack. So we'll kind of play the median and go 2003, 27 rushing touchdowns, which I'm pretty sure was the record at the time until LT ran for 28 in 2006. It was, I think. So, I don't know. That's tough. But now you have to pick. Now, for this one, it's going to get a little bit trickier because you have to pick. Well, maybe not trickier because Offensive Rookie of the Year with the most rushing touchdowns. Then you have to pick the year they did it. So, we could go Zeke, I guess, because I think he was Rookie of the Year. Let's go back. Now, Rookie of the Year, AP. Could go AP. He had a really good rookie year. Could go Zeke. Could go Saquon. Oh man, 2000s Offensive Rookie of the Year award. Let's go. Man, do we go Adrian Peterson? Okay. So this is. I think I may have misunderstood. I think you pick the year. So you pick it regardless of what year they won Rookie of the Year? No, it has to be in the year that they won Rookie of the Year. Adrian Peterson, I know for a fact, won Offensive Rookie of the Year. 100%. So, and that was 2007, 12. So maybe I misread that. Do not know. Also, I don't know why these are in red. Just going to keep it a buck. I don't know. Maybe that was the best option. I am not. Oh, team colors. Okay, dummy, stupid, because this is purple, this is blue. Got it. Okay, so the Bears rounds 2 through 7, 2000 to 2025 running backs that were drafted by the Bears. I kind of default to Matt Forte. I mean, I guess you could go. Was Jordan Howard drafted by the Bears? I remember Jordan Howard had a really good year. I kind of like the idea of Forte. Forte had some really good years for them. I'm not an old head, but I'm an older head, so I kind of go back to some of the older players. Let's go Forte. Let's go Matt Forte and just kind of let it ride. But what season was Forte's best year that we want to go with? I mean, into the teens. Into the teens for sure. I think he ended up playing in Buffalo too, or somewhere else down the stretch of his career. Maybe just the first year of the teens, I guess, is like a default. Let's do it. See what happens. 9 rushing touchdowns in 2013. Okay, so we were 96.8 percentile. Okay, let's take a peek at this board here. What to show Ange. Okay, so starting off, Zeke. 15. He was the best. Okay, Antonio Gibbs, right? Saquon, Ryan Matthews. Again, that was when they had the Eagles, like we said, they had kind of that committee. Ryan Matthews, shout out, Pride of Fresno State. That one was, we were on the right track with Zeke regardless. And then number 2, rushing touchdowns, Tebow. I kind of just forgot or wasn't even thinking about the fact that Tebow was in Denver, the starting quarterback. Yeah, that would have made a lot of sense. We could have gone Bo Nix, like we said. That one made a ton of sense. Priest Holmes, 100%. I would imagine this is the top one. Again, like we said, that 3-year stretch, man, I'm telling you, if you don't know Priest Holmes, go check him out. Some of the most exciting highlights, I mean, I guess a flash in the pan, if you want to call it that, even though he did have 3 years. We know the shelf life of running backs is a little disappointing, or a little short, shall we say. So this, okay, so I think I did misread this. It had to be running backs between 2000 and 2025 who had won an Offensive Rookie of the Year award. Which of those Offensive Rookie of the Year award winners had the most rushing touchdowns? And again, you can see, AP was the right choice, just not the right year. I went his rookie year. Again, Marshall Faulk, Hall of Famer, Todd Gurley, Alvin Kamara, Clint Portis. Clint Portis was stud running back in the 2000s. If you never got a chance to watch much of him. And Matt Forte, my Bears knowledge did pay off. DeAndre Swift. We did mention Jordan Howard, and we could have gone David Montgomery. So pretty good start there, 96.8. I like where we are. Now for higher or lower, this one, you got to just go, right? Quinshon Judkins, Alvin Kamara, it's off rip, right? So it didn't even have a chance to really. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to stop this for a second. So for higher or lower, when you jump in, that tells you the prompt right away. So I guess we have about, 10 seconds to pick. So higher or lower, two players appear who had more career rushing yards, Marshawn Lynch or Mark Ingram. Marshawn Lynch by far. And then again, it recycles Marshawn Lynch or MJD, Marshawn Lynch. Okay, I'm not the best at this game. I'm going to be honest, I'm very inconsistent, extremely hit or miss. Eckler? Okay, just barely. So you can see where it gets a little bit trickier. I'm going to go Eckler. Yeah, I was going to say, it's close. David Johnson or Carlos Hyde. Carlos Hyde was in the league for a minute. I'm going to go David Johnson. And it was Carlos Hyde. As you can see, you could play this one for a while. I mean, who had more career rushing yards. My trivia knowledge when it comes to some of this stuff is a little bit, we just saw this one, is a little bit less extensive. Miles Sanders or Austin Eckler. I'm going to go Eckler. I mean, Sanders he was a part of that rotation that we talked about in Philly. I'm going to go Lamar. No doubt about it. Matt Forte, our guy, Matt Forte. Almost 10K rushing yards. Matt Forte, we just saw this. But it is going to start to get tricky. Mark Ingram, 8,000 career rushing yards. I'm going to go Mark Ingram there. Yeah, Tony Pollard just hasn't been in the league long enough. Single season passing yards, Mahomes. That one was super easy. It starts, you do get less time as you go. So you have to just make sure that they're not changing the prompt. Bo Nix, no disrespect to Bo Nix, but more single season passing yards. I'm going Schaub. Yeah, Schaub, man. He was lining it up for the Texans at Schaub. Speak of the Texans, Case Keenum. Geno Smith or Keenum. I'm pretty sure Geno hit 4K. And we're off and rolling so far. I'm going to go Geno. Ooh, that one was close. Who has more single season passing yards? Mahomes. Again, as you can see, my best all time is 32. Has more career receiving yards. I think Golston. Relatively close. Zach Ertz or Chris Godwin. I'm gonna go Zach Ertz. Yep, Zach Ertz, obviously, as we know, was a staple. Mike Evans, come on, not even close. If we keep Mike Evans there, yeah, we're gonna get Jarvis Landry and now Dez Bryant. Whoa. Did I? Dez Bryant had more receiving yards than Jarvis Landry, right? Am I crazy? We'll go Arian Foster. We're not going to keep playing this one, but that one was that one was kind of interesting. That one's fun. You could play that one for a long time. I mean, you could just sit there and kind of, I mean, you could tear it up. But again, we're going to move on. Reverse Immaculate. So if you've played Immaculate, normally you have the team logos and you have to fill in the player. Reverse, as you can see, it's just the inverse of that. You have the players and then you have to guess the team. So whether you want to go column by column, row by row, Gardner Minshew, Jacoby Brissett, Frank Gore. This one right here, isn't this the Bills? Not the Bills. Okay. No, this one is the Bills because we have Tyrod, we have Frank Gore, and we have Trubisky. That one's the Bills. Okay. This one is the Bears. I'm pretty sure. I'm not as good at Immaculate. I just like some of like the journeyman. I just can never I can never really keep track or remember who was where. You have Golden Tate, Jabril Peppers, Tyrod Taylor. I mean, and then you have Golden Tate, TJ Edwards, Gardner Minshew. Like this one's a little bit trickier for me. I'm not gonna lie. Frank Gore, Minshew, Brissett. Like Frank Gore's played for so long. Jacoby Brissett, like he's been around the league. You know, Cordarrelle Patterson has been in the NFL for, or was in the NFL for quite some time. So I struggle with this one a little bit. There's a Bears in here though somewhere. This one's not the Bears? Did I click the wrong? Oh, I clicked the Broncos. You idiot. You absolute buffoon. I was gonna say those guys played for the Bears. Okay. So we're already down to 2 strikes and we only have 2. So honestly, this strategy for me is just trying to find the column or row that I can identify the best. That's why we went with these 2 kind of first. I was confident this was the Bills. I was confident this one was the Bears. Just click the freaking Broncos like a dummy. But now we have Minshew, Brissett, and Gore. Tate, Peppers, man. Peppers played for a lot of teams. Sorry, Taylor's played for a lot of teams. Minshew and Gore played for the Colts. And Brissett did too, obviously. So this one's Indy. Yes. Okay. Gosh, Tate, I don't think I realized Tate played for as many teams as he did. So that one is tough. Tate, Edwards, and Minshew. Who did they all play for? Jabril, we're going to have to come back to that one. I'm stumped. Even this one, Tyrod played for both New York teams. He obviously played for the Bills. Golden Tate played for a New York team too, I thought. But did Jabril Peppers never played for the Jets. I know that. I know he never played for the Jets. Tate played for a New York team. Tyrod played for both. So I guess deductive reasoning is going to tell us that it's the Giants? Okay. Our guessing skills worked. Very well. So this one's done. This one's done. We have 2 columns left. Gosh, man. So, Jabril and Brissett. Cordarrelle Patterson played for quite a few teams, as we've said. I just don't know. I mean, he never played for the Cardinals. I'm pretty sure he didn't play for the Cardinals. Minshew, been around the block. Indy, Jacksonville. Wasn't he in Philly at 1.2? Vegas. TJ Edwards was in Philly too. But was Golden Tate in Philly? I can't remember him being in Philly, but we're going to let it fly and see what happens. And bang, let's go. Let's go. Okay, so we're down to our last guess, and we're down to our last column. But I'll tell you what. I'm stumped. I don't even have... I just remember Cordarrelle with the Vikings the most, and like Jacoby never played for them. Jabril, I'm pretty sure never played for them. Man, down to one strike. I just don't have any guesses. We're just gonna have to let it fly. We guessed. Oh man. Guess the Titans, and we missed it. So that's tough. That one is tough. Who did he play for? Oh, the Patriots. The Patriots. This one's coming to me now. That one like blanked out of my memory. Cordarrelle Patterson blanked out of my memory. That one's tough. Like I said, I'm not always getting this one. This one's a little bit tricky. Reverse immaculate, but hey, it's worth a shot, you know. We're gonna shoot. Play the griddle. I'm not big into griddle. We'll see. We'll give it a shot and see what happens. I'm not very good at this one. Again, you got to guess a player, and we'll kind of see it play out. But green means exact match. Yellow means close, right? Same conference or division, same side of the ball. Or within 2 of their age, height, and jersey. That's where it gets super, super tricky. Red means the attribute is off altogether. So we're just going to take a shot. Calvin, we'll go. I was going to go Calvin Johnson, but I think they only do current players, I guess. Let's go Stafford. Stafford's got some stuff. Okay, so it's a quarterback in the NFC, but not the NFC West, right? So that means it's in the NFC and within 1 or 2 of his height. So NFC West teams are off the table. So let's go a shorter quarterback within one, a 6'2" quarterback in the NFC. I don't think Caleb Williams is 6'2" technically. Yes, 6'1", not an NFC North quarterback. 6'1" quarterback in the NFC. Jalen Hurts. Also, the arrows, right? So that's the other thing too. Let me not leave that as an omission. So he's younger than Matthew Stafford, older than Caleb Williams, and it's a smaller jersey number than 9 and 18. I feel good about this. It's not Jalen Hurts, so it's an NFC North quarterback who is 6'1". No, excuse me. NFC South quarterback, Baker Mayfield? Bang! Okay, we got it. Baker Mayfield, okay. So, as you can see, my win percentage is not very good. I'm not super good at this one. I'm just, and you saw my win percentage with reverse immaculate too. I'm just usually not. Not very good. Again, took me about halfway through. This one was pretty easy, because it was quarterbacks who were, we kind of got enough stuff in the beginning to kind of figure it out. But we're going to finish off here with Gridiron Trivia, that is. We're going to finish off with Guess the Player for Gridiron Trivia. So, again, same thing. You get 10 guesses. You get more points when you have to use less guesses. That's simple. You start at 10 points, lose 1 point for each additional hint revealed. 3 wrong guesses, and ends the run with 0 points. So, you want to be strategic about this too. You don't want to just fire off a guess right away. There's a middle ground of trying to, use as few guesses as possible while also trying to gain, or use as many guesses as possible while also trying to gain as many points. So, draft in the first round, a ton of players. So, we're going to go to the next hint. 3-time All-Pro. Same thing. All kinds of All-Pros drafted in the first round. We're going to go to the next hint. Now, it was a Colts player drafted in the first round that was a 3-time All-Pro. So you can't, that's the other thing too, is they have to have played 3 seasons, right? So it's not Latu, it's not any of really their more recent first round picks. So we are going to have to go back. Could go Edgerrin James, I think. Could go, if you wanted to go back, could go Edge, I guess you could go Peyton Manning. Now, the tough part of it too is 3-time All-Pro. So you have to be specific with the 3. It's not like or at least that's what I'm guessing, is it has to be specifically 3-time All-Pro first-round pick for the Colts. Reggie Wayne, also a good one to think about. He had a couple All-Pro seasons. Could go edge. I'm gonna go Reggie Wayne. I feel good about Reggie Wayne. I mean, he had multiple All-Pro seasons, but it's not Reggie Wayne. So we've only used one guess though, so we'll feel good about it. Syracuse. Okay, so it's Marvin Harrison. But that's the tricky part too, is Marvin Harrison had more first round, or more, he was more than a 3-time All-Pro. So that's where it gets, I guess, tricky, because he was way more than a 3-time All-Pro. There is no doubt about it. So I just don't know. Let's check out Marvin Harrison and see. And sure enough, 3-time first-team All-Pro. So there you have it. 3-time first-team All-Pro Marvin Harrison. I guess it does work for him. Now, let's go to StatPad. I love StatPad. This game is a ton of fun. 7-13. So you can see here, right? You get a variety of options that you can play. I haven't played this game in quite a while. You can play NFL, NBA, MLB. You can play different dates going all the way back to, I guess, March 1st. So if you ever get bored, you can certainly play this game for quite some time. But pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. You have to find someone from the Washington Commanders from 2020 to 2025 that had the most sacks, and the highest score is going to win. So, the Commanders. I mean, Von Miller was just there, so I guess we could go him. They have not had... I mean, they've had guys in the double digits, and that's the other thing, too. You have to select the appropriate year. Now, if we were... you do get a little bit of an assist, because if you were to go Von Miller 2015, if you didn't know, for example, it would just tell you... well, actually, no. It would tell you the team. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But Von Miller, 2025, 97th percentile. That is pretty good. And then you can see right away, Deron Payne, Dante Fowler, Jonathan Allen. There's Von Miller, and there's Montez Sweat. So could have gone a variety of different directions, I guess. It is what it is. But sack total. We'll go to how to play too, just to kind of give you the rundown, the lowdown, I guess, before we even get into it. But 5 players with the corresponding years to maximize your score. Submit 1 player per row. Again, we kind of just saw that it's pretty self-explanatory. So an AFC North player who had the most sacks in 2016. So, gosh, this is 10 years old now. And around that time, there weren't a lot of dynamite edge rushers. And in fact, I'm pretty sure this was the year before, maybe 2 years before. No, it was the year before, I think, that Myles Garrett came in the league. So, of course, pretty strategic cutoff point for them. I don't remember anyone of significance for the Browns, like defensive line. It could be a linebacker too. The Ravens had Terrell Suggs. They had some other players. The Bengals had, gosh, was Geno Atkins there, a D tackle? And then I think he was, right? And then for Pittsburgh in 2016, I think maybe James Harrison was still there. I'm telling you, these were not great. Not great times for like dynamite edge rushers. I'm gonna go. Okay, so that's not how you spell Terrell Suggs, I guess. Oh, it is. A lot of Terrells played in the NFL, and then obviously the year in 2016, he had a ton of sacks in his career. It just feels that's the only one I can really like think of and remember. Geno Atkins and Carlos Dunlap. Those two were dynamite, man. D&D tackle kind of pairing and duo. There's our guy Terrell Suggs. We just missed out on him. Ogba, I mean, he was a fine player, but like I said, no one really have known. And then James Harrison. So that one's a little bit trickier. And then the Packers from 2020 to 2025. So a big range. Now you have to go back to 2000, or if you're going back to 2000, they had, what's his name? Kabir, the guy who hosts American Ninja Warrior. I'm pretty sure, right? Someone check me on that. I'm pretty sure he was there, but he had a couple seasons, if I remember correctly, where he had He had some pretty big sack totals. Now, after him, could be Clay Matthews. I mean, Clay Matthews had a couple seasons where he was in the double-digit sack range. But man, this one is a little tricky. I am not thinking of anyone more recently. Maybe Zadarius Smith. Man, I think you just got to play the hits. Like, we played the hits with Suggs, and like Von Miller was more like recency bias, I guess you could say. That is a Clay Matthews. Now, it's picking the year is going to be the tricky part. So he was a rookie in 2009. 2010, they won the Super Bowl. If I remember correctly, he had a pretty good rookie year too. And then finding from there which one he had, I feel like just defaulting to the year they won the Super Bowl feels like the best bet, given that he was one of their better players. So we're just going to send it. 99th percentile, 13.5 sacks. Even I did not think that it was that many. So again, if you go back, right, Aaron Campman, I'm not going to pretend to really know who that is, remember who it is. There's the Darius Smith. I remember he did have that good year when he was there. There's our guy Kabir a couple times. And here's Clay Matthews in 2010. The year they won the Super Bowl. So yeah, I mean, checks out. They were very good on defense. Obviously, they won the stinking Super Bowl, right? So, of course, he was going to be a huge factor in that. Now, kind of the same thing we had with Terrell Suggs. NFC North 2017. And Ndamukong Suh was no longer in the division. We could go Clay Matthews, I guess, again. Boy, I'll tell you what. This is going to be one of those scenarios where this is plenty recent enough for me to know the names, but I am drawing an absolute blank. I go back to like Jared Allen. I think Jared Allen did play for the Bears at one point, but I don't think he's a good enough guess for this, and he's not even in 2017. So I guess we'll have to go with Clay Matthews and hope that he had a lot of sacks in 2017. I mean, this was towards the end of his career. You see his picture in LA. I mean, he was in LA maybe his last 2 years. So we're going to go with Clay Matthews. I just can't think of anyone like that's really coming to me for these NFC North teams. And I mean, only 7.5 sacks, 93rd percentile. Not a terrible guess. This is going to just haunt me. Everson Griffin. And Ziggy Ansah. I guess those two, like, I should have known. I mean, Akeem Hicks, like, I know the name. I was never going to guess him. Even the first two, Ziggy Ansah and Everson Griffin. I don't know if I was ever going to get to those two. Everson Griffin, I think with USC. Shout out him. Fight on. Ziggy Ansah, BYU, I think. Nick Perry, just like, again, know the name. Again, Green Bay, but, like, I was never in a million years gonna get to Nick Perry. That one's a little bit tricky. But we're gonna finish off here 2020 to 2025 with the Indianapolis Colts. This one kind of interesting because the Colts, I feel like, have had just mercenaries at edge rusher, as pass rushers. They've just had like a list of names that you could really pick from. I mean, Latu had a good year last year. We could go with him off rip. 2020 to 2025, I am really struggling to think of some of those mercenaries. I mean, DeForest Buckner obviously was a mainstay for them. Yeah, Kwity Paye, mercenary. Could go Kwity Paye. But after that, and of course, now that I'm saying all this, I'm going to see the names and be like, oh, duh. Like, why didn't I think of him? Probably more so than getting to like a Nick Perry or an Akeem Hicks, because this is a little bit more recent. But I like Latu. I like Latu, the player. Let's go with him, right? Let's see. I feel good about this one. And let's see what happens. 95th percentile. That's not bad. 8.5 sacks. Yannick Ngakoue. Okay, so Defo, right? Yannick Ngakoue. I forgot about Yannick. Samson Ebukam. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I was ever going to get there. Kwity Paye, again, just like this list of mercenaries. You have five different players, 5 different names. And almost in 5 different seasons. 20, 22, 23, and 25. So, again, the Colts have just thrown all types of different options at pass rusher. That's been kind of interesting to see. And then you kind of finish it off. Your grid beat 80.3% of other scores. So, not too bad. Not terrible. Target, and again, you could start over, right? I mean, obviously, if you didn't know the answers, you could start over. But now knowing the answers, it doesn't make any sense for me to start over. But that's it for us today with NFL trivia options. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to drop in the comments if you want to see some other trivia games. If you know of any other football trivia games, man, please let me know. I'm going to try to find a college football one and try to do that. Like I said, here with StatPad, you can do MLB and NBA. I am just not. This is just, I couldn't. Like, I don't know enough about basketball and steals too. Like, no shot. But thank you all for tuning in. Again, put in the comments if you want to see any other types of trivia or any type of other videos that you want to see, and we will have them coming to you soon.